Have you ever tried painting on black watercolor paper? This was actually my very first time and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Now, normally we start with white paper, build up the shadows with that depth, but with black paper, everything kind of flips on you. You're painting the light instead of the dark, and it completely changes how you see your colors. So in this YouTube video, I'm experimenting with black watercolor paper to see how the metallics and opaque paints kind of behave on there. So if you've ever been curious about trying something new, this might give you a nudge to experiment right alongside me. Hi, I'm Kelly. I am a watercolor artist, and I help artists of all levels relax, have fun, and paint more freely. And I believe art should feel good, not stressful. Hi, everyone. All right, I got in some black watercolor paper and I want to share with you what it's like because I've never tried it before. It's by Stonehenge, it's Legion paper. This one is a pad version and it has 15 sheets in it. I'm so used to the Fabriano being sealed all the way around. I'm like, oh, I just have to peel this one off. So I should probably tape it down, but I'm not going to. You can see the texture in here is pretty much like a cold pressed paper would be. I'm finding it very similar. A few weeks ago, I had done a sunflower with Make Time to Create, and I thought I'd try to recreate it on black paper because it took me a little bit longer because I had to do the background in black. I used black grape from my Rosa kit. Today I've got my Winsor Newtons. I'm going to give them a little spritz here. You can see that the pans are quite a bit smaller for Winsor Newton. These are the professional paints. And I kind of burrow a hole like in all the colors. It's so funny, I do this every time. I've not cleaned my palette out. I'm not going to worry about cleaning it out. I'm going to use bleed proof white. I think I'm going to have to add white to it in order to get the watercolors to show up. And I'm using my Princeton number 8 round brush in Neptune. It's got a nice point to it. So I'm thinking of trying the sunflower again, and I just want to play around and just share with you my experience. So I'm going to try this orange. Now, they're really kind of orangey yellow, so let me grab a little yellow too. It's got a little green in there, but that's okay. So I'm going to go in with some really strong pigment. So not a lot of water. And let's just see if I can get this to show up on here. And I surprisingly can. Okay, I didn't expect that to happen. Let's see what happens when it dries, though. So I do want to leave the space in between there. All right, well, that's interesting. So I'm going to wait. We'll see if how that dries. Meanwhile, let me grab some of the bleed proof white. Just add a little bit of that to it. This is going to be a little bit whiter, but I just want to see it. I won't have to dip back in. So it's going to give me a nice light color. Ooh. Let's just spin around. So I don't know, are these sunflowers? Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to try to keep that center. So this is starting to dry. It's getting a little lighter, I can tell, but not too bad. And then I thought we would try the metallic on here. So I've got my metallic paint. Now this is the Schminke, which I have a video of this, I think, somewhere. I'll try to attach it for you. And I'll also attach the video of the sunflowers, the official sunflowers that we did on our Make Time to Create. Ooh, this is pretty on here. I'm going to accidentally not leave enough space in the middle again. So I'm just going to turn the paper around. So can you see that? So they all show up. I mean, that gold is absolutely beautiful. Maybe I could start out with something like this, add this on top of it, and then a touch of gold to give those 3 layers. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So let me rinse my brush. We'll try one on the bottom. Go with that bright orange. So let me try to leave a little space down in here. So we're looking straight on at these, and we're not going to make them like leaned over or put a lot of effort into that. Sometimes my brain doesn't even work that way. Like, it's really hard to get those fold over petals in my head. like what direction they have to go in. I don't know if that happens to you too. All right, so then we'll add some of the white on top. Let's just kind of blend it in here in between a little bit, so I can see where it was pretty wet. That's moving. I think it's going to be okay. So I'm trying that little bit of a layering just to see what's going to happen. That's pretty. And then in the center, I'm just going to dot it around. I see I should have left more black. So you're kind of like doing it the opposite of white paper. So you still need to leave that black area in order for it to show up. Kind of like that. You know, we could always use some black to go back in there if we want to. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of this on this one now. This again was with the white. So it gives you some nice highlights. So funny, when I'm practicing this stuff, I don't really think about it. I just start painting and I don't think about my composition whatsoever. So they're like just there. That's all right. I'm gonna let those dry a little bit. I think my favorite one is this one up here. This one was too wet when I did it. The paper does hold a pretty good amount of water, but you can see where it's a little raised over on this one. So let's just keep adding a little more. So I'm going to start with this one again with the bright orange. I think I like it the best. I'm just going to do a little circle. Remember to leave that little space for your center. I'm talking to myself. We can tuck some back in here. I'm starting to get a little change of direction here now. Again, the key is going pretty thick on there. I left a good amount of black on there. Okay, so we've got quite a few now. Trying to do a few different directions. Now this one, you can see, look at that. That really dried a lot lighter. Let's go with just another coat and see if we like it better. And then this one, I'm going to put the dark over it since I've got the light put down first. And I'm going to end up with the gold on there. So I'm going to grab that orange. I'm just working it into that white. So caught up on everything being perfect that we forget to just have fun. So I'm having fun. I don't know about you. Even if it doesn't turn out right, guess what? I probably learned something. It's like little fireworks in here now. Okay. And then let's just do a little bit of dotting again in the center. Some of these. Now my gold is thickening up in there. You can see I've added water to it, reactivated it, but it's pretty thick. So I'm just going to add a little more water. And the water is going to thin that gold out. So I don't want it too thick and I don't want it too thin. Otherwise it's just going to become more transparent when it dries. So it really shows up nicely on that black. Doesn't show up quite as much on the white unless I tip and tilt, and you can see it. Get little dots in here first. I'm going to have to go back in with a black Sharpie, I think. And then let's add just a little sparkle. I should probably tip it so I can see where I have the sparkle and where I don't. And honestly, I don't have to have it on all of them, but it's so pretty. Just give it a little. I could definitely do more. That was fun. I have a gold pen, which could make things easy for me. I also have a Sharpie, which is a wide Sharpie. Usually I use like a G Tech 4 pen because it's very fine, but I do need to let those dry a little bit and just give it a few seconds. So I could do, I'm gonna get a little gold with green or white just to make it pop out a little bit more. So let's go a little green, a couple different greens, and I'm gonna add, let's just test it first before. Yeah, it's not really showing up all that much, so let's add a little bit of white to that. Just mixing what I had in there, kind of had that peachy color from before. And drop that in. Yeah, you can see that a lot better. Give these little stems in here. This is not really sunflower. I don't know what kind of flower it is, but I've made it up. And maybe even some leaf shapes. Not much of a planner on florals at all. Again, I'm messy. It's not really just experimenting. Fun. And now I'm going to clean everything up. This is what I find for me anyway. When I experiment like this, I get very messy. Like that looseness. I love to paint loose. I just think it's so freeing and so much more fun than, you know, stressing out about how everything looks all the time. So I can clean up some of this stuff. Now this gold is definitely different, and that is not dry. Look at that. I can actually create texture in that with that. Go over some of this if I wanted to. This is how I can clean up, or I can get even messier. You know, it just depends on the mood. Yeah, that's some of that is moving that paint, but I kind of dig it. Look at that. It's like working texture in there. Who knew? That's why experimenting is so important. So I started off with what I thought were going to be sunflowers, but they just are more fun flowers instead of sunflowers. That was my favorite one. I absolutely love that bright gold. Now I could switch here and try another marker, maybe with some black. Look at that. It's actually loading up on my pen. So this is the Uniball pen. The gold is a different gold than, more yellow gold than the gold from the Schminke. So it gives me even another layer. Now these are, again, scribbly. Some of these are rounded, some are more pointed. I'm just scribbling around. And look, and that's still pulling out some of that. So it's giving me, look at that, it gives me texture and almost lifts it to the black paper underneath, which is super cool. Surprises. See how I can pull that out? And it's probably just because it's thicker paint and hasn't dried yet. But I can get some nice texture on there. Get a little messy in here. See the sparkle in there? Yeah, that one is so pretty with that gold. I think that the gold definitely looks nice on here. So let's just try the G Tech 4 pen, see if I can even, yep, things will show up on there. So let's just work on that center a little bit more. Can even give myself a few little petal textures in here. G Tech 4 works probably the best in here for a little dimension. It might work better in here once that dries. Again, layering. This is what they call mixed media. Not what I had planned doing. But I'm letting myself explore. Sharpie marker is pretty dark, so let's see if I can get some dots in here. Yeah, little some darker center here. Get it to show up again. So I'm trying just to go in around to give it some texture by the petals. Well, that was super fun to try. If you want to try more experiments like this with me, hit that like, share, and comment. And if you want to support my art and keep free content coming, my Patreon is the place to do that. Let's grow to over 20,000 subscribers together. And if you are a patron, stick around for a second sunflower painting, which I think this one looks more like a sunflower than the first one did.